Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to
Welcome.
the S Bros podcast.
S Bros
Armando,
podcast. Aaron.
and we're here to talk about Dune Part 2.
Dune Part 2.
Alrighty, dude.
The
You didn't get
The
to see
Empire Strikes Back.
It's not that, though.
But it, I would
Isn't
arguably say, when talking about sci-fi sequels, people always use that as a reference. This will definitely surpass that mark, I would say.
that. Do you
And
think that...
only because there's a little bit of seniority that you have to kind of give this whole story, because the story of Dune came before Star Wars. And so, yes, as great of a movie as Empire Strikes Back is, not only does it have time against it, because it's not one of those movies that like stands the test of time. It's as much of a Star Wars fan as I am, as great as that movie is, the effects are very visible, just because that's kind of how it was back then. And with how edited they are nowadays, like you can't go on Disney Plus without seeing you'd have to go out of your way to purchase the unedited versions or torrent them online type of thing.
Are you trying to say that this will now be what people refer to as, oh, this is going to be the Dune 2 of movies, of sci-fi movies now? Is that what you're trying to say? Because, I mean, the movies, I mean, you can't even compare the two. Technology isn't even there when the Star Wars were made.
No.
The story, I think, stands the test of time.
The story, absolutely.
Same with Dune, clearly. I mean...
Yeah, I definitely like the spoilers. I really like the twist that Paul Atreides is actually a Harkonnen.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming. Do you know is that part of like the original storyline at all?
I imagine.
Do
Do you want me to Google it really quick?
No, I can look it up also, because
Okay.
there's a lot of there's a couple of main things that I've heard that I've been seeing just as the headlines. I haven't actually looked into it.
I saw that they kind of frame Paul as more of the actual anti-hero in this movie than they do in this part of the story in the books. Because I did catch wind of Frank Herbert being a little disappointed around the initial release of this story, because a lot of people walked away with it feeling like Paul Atreides was the hero of the story. And he was like, that's not what I was intending at all.
Okay. One of the big differences from the book to the movie is the fact that I guess Paul does not, or in the book, as Paul is bringing the Emperor to heel, he manipulates the Space Guild by threatening to destroy spice forever using the water of life, not nuclear atomic missiles. So
Gotcha.
that part's a little different. I don't
Okay.
necessarily think that's like the craziest thing ever.
I don't think it's crazy either.
Yeah, I don't think that's that big of a change or anything like that. There's a few,
Especially if in the third one they're just going to bring out a holy war.
you know what? I think we should just go through these differences and we can talk about how we feel about it. And then
Okay.
we'll talk about the actual movie.
All right.
I guess a shorter time jump. In Herbert's book, it consists of 3 parts. The final portion begins after a 2-year time jump, during which Lady Jessica's unusual daughter, Alia, is born. Dune Part 2 shortens the amount of time that passes between when Paul joins the Fremen and when he kills Freyr Rotha.
Gotcha.
It's less than 9 months, as the movie ends with Lady Jessica still pregnant. Okay, gotcha. So it's a little bit longer of a period of time. It's a 2-year time jump in the book, and in the movie, they only had it like 9 months.
Okay.
Alia communicates from the womb.
How do you feel about that? Do you think the time jump matters? Do you think her existence...
I have only gone through parts of the first book, through the breakdowns and through the reviews. I don't really think that makes that big of a difference to me.
From the outside, I don't think so
I am
either.
not a diehard Dune fan. I am a diehard fan of these movies. These
movies are amazing.
These 2 movies have been incredible. Dune Part 2 is awe-inspiring, jaw-dropping, however you want to say it. It's just a next-level type of sci-fi movie. So, but the shorter time jump to me doesn't make much of a difference, because they're still going to give us one where it has Anya Taylor-Joy in it. You already know that's going to happen. So,
because I have I have utter faith in how this guy is going to direct these movies. Denis Villeneuve, Danny Boy. I really do think that these are going to, especially in upcoming generations who already walk out of theaters saying that Star Wars is boring. Man, I can't stand Star Wars. This is amazing. To this generation and the future ones, this movie and this series will take that place.
I kind of agree with that. I thought that after I first saw the first one.
Yeah.
I was like, this might, like, because if they could really nail that, because when this movie first released, it was not that. It got a lot of hate.
It did. People thought it was boring.
Yeah, they thought it was terrible. They thought it was just trash.
And then after this one comes out, I think there's going to be a second wave.
Oh, yeah. Well, and then the first one, it did so well. It was so good.
Yeah.
You kind of already knew, okay, they got the baseline down. Now that we've seen a sequel that knocked it out of the park,
Oh my God.
I don't see, like, now my reservations are a little bit less. Like, not even a little bit less. I kind of fully trust Villeneuve now. So for me, I think that this, or when, as soon as it was put in there, and I'm not even talking yet, we haven't even gotten into like the nitty gritty of the characters and how we feel about that. I'm talking about even just cinematography, score, overall storyline.
Beautiful.
It's
Hans Booby.
Hans. Bobby.
You did amazing.
Yeah, he did incredible. And so everything about it I liked. The casting is also next level.
Yeah.
The way the characters interact. Yeah, the way they even interact with the world around them. It's just really, really well done. People, I don't... There's some examples I can give about that too, where it really does a good job at making an actual story out of this to where you can draw from other parts in the film that make logical sense later on in the film. And I was noticing that when you had filmed the end fight scene, because we are looking at it.
No, I didn't.
When you had pulled up the clip of the end fight scene, the thing that I liked was you see that Paul and Feyd-Rautha are locked in battle. Feyd is this ego, and Paul can see the future, so he already kind of knows this stuff is going to happen, and he knows how this fight is.
Glimpses.
But here, this is my. Let me get to the end of my point though. They were already going to be on two totally different planes because Paul, he has done hand-to-hand combat with people who were trying to kill him back.
Yeah.
The only fighting we'd ever seen Feyd-Rautha do was when they were drug dudes, and then one guy who wasn't, but he still got hurt. He wasn't just like left alone.
Yeah.
Like, and also he was like who knows, starving.
Malnourished.
Like, yeah, he was in prison.
Yeah.
So, like, in my opinion, we never, like, Feyd never ended up actually having real combat tested.
No.
And we never really got to, like, he never had that opportunity. So already going into the fight, you know that that's also with the storyline. You know that's just where that is. So it's interesting. I liked that little detail. Like, that made logical sense.
Yeah.
That Paul would be better. He's had hand-to-hand, he's been fighting in this war. And so, yeah, it was just really... I love this movie. I love this movie.
One detail that I noticed this time around was how another separation is how Feyd doesn't have the voice.
What do you mean?
The voice that Paul Atreides was taught by Lady Jessica.
Oh, yeah. He does not have that. But he noticed, he sees it, and he's just like, oh, this dude's wild. So, yeah.
Yeah, he was very intrigued. Mm-hmm. So I noticed that, and I was like, oh, okay. That because Lady Jessica also broke rules by, one, falling in love with Leto, and then...
having a boy.
Mm-hmm. And then training him to use the voice.
Yeah, that was, I guess, the problem. But here's the real... Because I understand then, and I guess maybe I can do a little bit of research into this, and we'll probably do a follow-up sci-fi thing where we talk about Dune 2 will be in that conversation.
Yeah.
But the thing that I don't understand then is why did he need to be tested if he doesn't have the voice? He doesn't have all the power in the world. He's not necessarily that powerful anyway. He's just part of a powerful family. He's just a psychotic dude that has a lot of things behind him. Not like a scary amount of power that you can't let him live if he's like He's been living and doing the same things he's always been doing.
Yeah.
If he doesn't have
Yeah.
the voice, why was that test necessary? And I want to know if that.
I don't know if the voice is.
I haven't gotten through all of the stuff yet, so it might not even be in there, or it might.
I don't know if being the quote unquote chosen one that the Bene Gesserit are kind of, breeding for. I don't know if that individual has to have the voice. I know nothing about this story, so he might.
Okay.
So I don't know if it was kind of just an extra thing that
Well, we're also
like Paul shouldn't have. Like I don't know if the Lisan al Gaib is specific to Arrakis. If that's the just plan D, so to speak, of we're going to Arrakis now. This is our plan that we've had for centuries for this one.
I think it is like that, though. I think it is Palpatine level of manipulation and planning. For Arrakis, the Lisan al Gaib, he is the prophecy for that planet.
Yeah.
For the Fremen people of that planet.
But I don't know if the prophecy was that person is supposed to have the voice.
I don't know if it's written in their prophecy, but it does talk about. I feel like I remember them saying something about him commanding things, and so the idea that he can speak that is the thing that does that.
Gotcha.
At least that's how I took it. But I also guess that Paul and Chani have a son.
Oh.
And so since the shortened time frame in there, they don't get to have that in the kid. But Dune Part 2 does stay true to one aspect of this book subplot. Both movie and novel end without little Leto. So I guess...
Yeah.
I guess...
I did know that Paul was going to have a kid and name him after
his dad.
Yeah.
Paul beckons the emperor Paul beckons the emperor to Arrakis. Apparently, it doesn't happen in the book. In Dune Part 2, Paul reveals to the emperor he is still alive. He reclaims his title as Duke of Arrakis and summons the emperor to Arrakis to address him directly. In the novel, Shaddam the Sixth arrives on the planet himself to deal with the troublesome Fremen leader known as Muad'Dib. I don't know why I said that word. Muad'Dib. Who the Beast Radan or the Beast Raban has seen or has been unable to find. Okay, so instead of him being called to the planet, the Emperor isn't called to the planet. I don't know who Shaddam the Sixth is. Or wait. In Roman numerals, if the I is before the V, is that 4?
Yeah.
Okay, so Shaddam the Fourth. Who the hell is that?
Let's pull up the cast list. What's the name?
Radon the Fourth, or Shaddam the Fourth. Sorry, Shaddam the Fourth.
Oh, that would be the Emperor.
Oh, so he just arrives on the planet himself alone to deal with them. So maybe in the actual book, the Emperor is not this, but maybe he was an old guy, but just not like.
Gotcha. So in the book, the Emperor goes to the planet himself, and alone
to deal with this. Not in a response to a letter he got to summon him there. He just goes there because the Muad'Dib has not been found, and they haven't been able to find him, and he just keeps messing with the spice fields because spice is what controls everything.
Right. Gotcha. So, because the movie definitely makes the Emperor seem a little bit more frail.
Yeah, they definitely do.
So, what does the Emperor do?
He just goes there to fight him. They don't go anywhere. Yeah. I don't know anymore.
It doesn't go into it?
No, that's it, dude. That's what the breakdown's for, though.
Jeez, dude.
I guess Gurney also doesn't try to kill Jessica in Dune Part 1. Dune Part 1 omitted the futile hunt for a traitor in the Atreides ranks.
In the movie, and then we were going over that YouTube deep dive in the book, and everybody's thinking everybody.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, we already went over that. You're right. Paul's reason for drinking the water of life. Gurney's surprise attack on Jessica is the impetus for Paul to drink the water of life in the book.
Oh, wait a minute. So technically, timeline-wise, in Dune Part 2, he's supposed to attack Jessica? Is it because he...
No, in Dune Part 1, he's supposed to attack Jessica. That's what they were saying.
And so back then is when Paul drinks the water of life?
I'll get through this first part real fast.
Okay.
Gurney's surprise attack on Jessica is the impetus of Paul to drink the water of life in the book. The near death of his mother makes him realize he needs to see even further into the future if he hopes to defeat the Harkonnen and keep those who he cares about safe.
Gotcha.
A real Anakin, if you will. A real Anakin.
Gotcha.
Just without the ability to choke somebody across the room.
Oh, dude, but he can push him down with his voice.
Dune Part 2 changes the specifics behind Paul's decision to drink the water of life, but not the spirit.
Yeah.
All right,
I like that.
They gender swapped Shishakli, the girl who kind of talks shit about Paul or just makes fun of him a little bit.
Oh, okay. I don't care.
I don't care either. The water of life reveals Jessica's secret parentage. Oh, okay, gotcha. So wait, maybe this isn't real then. This isn't part of the book. Villeneuve opted to hold back a big revelation for his second film. Lady Jessica only learns the truth about her father being born Harkonnen when she drinks the water of life and sees the memory of the Reverend Mother taking her as a child. Paul also learns about his grandfather from the sandworm poison. In Herbert's novel, Paul makes the discovery much earlier during his spice-induced desert visions in a tent with his mother.
Oh,
Apparently there's...
It's supposed to happen in the first movie. I like that it happened in the second one.
Here's the problem with this. They're going to start making me read some characters, and I clearly can't pronounce all the stuff correctly. And so it's going to... Once we start to build a following in the sci-fi community, they're going to be like, you freaking idiot. Like, how do you say Thufir Hawat?
Thufir
Hawat?
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently does not return after appearing in an already diminished role in Dune Part 1. In Herbert's book... Hawat is a major character who is captured by House Harkonnen on Arrakis after the secret attack. Baron Harkonnen then makes Hawat his new mentat, despite well-founded concerns by everyone around the Baron. While in his service to the Baron, Hawat secretly works to undercut the Baron and his chosen heir. He even helps Feyd-Rautha come up with a plan to assassinate his uncle. Wow. All right. In the story's last sequence, the Emperor tries to use Hawat to kill Paul. Instead, the Mentat apologizes to Lady Jessica for doubting her and kills himself in service to his true family,
Damn.
House Atreides. That's sick.
Atreides!
I get hard every time, dude. I get such a good chant. I want that ring so bad. When I saw that, I just like, oh man, Atreides is the best, dude. Apparently, there's actually quite a few creative liberties that they ended up taking, so this list is a little long.
Damn. What else? Keep going.
But as somebody who's not necessarily a diehard fan, I don't know. Like they don't. Some of these don't matter that much to me.
No.
I don't care.
But as someone who has no experience with Dune, loving the movies and then reading a list like this, it's kind of fun. Just getting to be like, oh, what actually happens? Oh, that is a little crazy. I'm glad they changed that. Kind of like with The Watchmen. The giant squid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also a really good movie. We should most definitely do that one also.
I love that movie.
It's fantastic. And if I'm not mistaken, there are just enough differences between the movie and the graphic novel that we could do this too, where we could look up the differences and stuff like that.
Yeah, true.
I kind of find this interesting to do.
I like this.
Even with stuff that I don't
that might be how this evolves.
Where we're just talking about the accuracy. What, did we just watch movies that have novels written from?
Most sci-fis do.
That's true. You're right about that. Not all though. Not all. So we can't do this with every one of them.
Correct.
So again, Looper, that's not based off a book.
No,
but it's also a sick movie. So.
It is a sick movie.
But
we could just go into differences in that versus the real world. I don't know, dude. We'll find a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. If you build it, they will come. We haven't built shit.
You're right. We haven't. We have 14 followers. We're still half of them
dude,
are people we know.
The true 14.
The true 14, dude.
The true 14.
Hurrah. Do you know who that is?
Hurrah.
Villeneuve also opted to cut Hurrah, wife of Jamis, because Paul killed Jamis in battle. Yeah. Tradition means Hurrah becomes his servant. Oh, so tradition, since he killed that guy, his wife was supposed to become the servant to Paul and takes on the responsibility of her children. His decision not to take her as his wife instead as a slight, but it does not stop Hurrah from remaining loyal to him. Interesting. That's what happens in the book.
Crazy.
Okay, so then there's this one, Count Fenring.
Okay.
Like David Lynch before him, Villeneuve also did not include the Emperor's only friend, the deadly assassin, Count Fenring. In the novel Lady Margot's husband, himself once a potential Kwisatz Haderach, oh, that's the
The Messiah.
Yeah, the Messiah, is sent to Gadi Prime with her to witness Feyd-Rautha's big arena fight. The Count ultimately refuses to kill Paul at the end of the story, despite the Emperor. Interesting. So there's apparently this really badass old guy who's an assassin.
Interesting.
Who's the Emperor's only friend. So instead of that, they let his daughter be his only friend. A Bene Gesserit who we didn't even see do anything. She just talked, but Florence Pugh's also really hot, so I'm all right with it. I don't hate it. Moving on. Jessica promotes Paul as the Fremen Messiah. Interesting. Okay, Dune Part 2 makes it so Jessica is the only one who quickly pushes the Fremen to see her son as the Lisan al-Gaib. While Paul is fearful of being seen as the Messiah, this is inverted from the book, where Jessica initially sees the perils of such a position while Paul uses it to his advantage. Interesting. So he's, in the book, he's much more conniving with like, oh, I'm going to use this to take control of everybody.
Interesting.
That's good because I like, you know what? I like in those new movies that they let little Timothée Chalamet be a little bit more heartwarming, you know?
Yeah. Well, and how did people walk away from the books thinking that he was a hero then?
I have no idea, actually. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I'd have to. We need to watch more of the breakdown and everything, dude. Or we could actually go through the books. But no, I like to support small businesses and help YouTube channels that are trying to go across.
Oh, dude, that's a big channel.
Okay, well then I don't care. We're gonna still listen to him and we're gonna follow him.
All right.
We'll subscribe.
Okay.
Oh no,
What are you talking about?
the Beast of Raban.
Yeah.
Do you know who that is?
Yeah. Dave Bautista.
Oh yeah. Okay, gotcha. I realized that during this little thing.
You were saying what?
Well, okay, so if I go back to this first one that we went,
Yeah.
because I didn't realize that.
Because you said the Emperor goes down himself,
Okay, hold on.
but you were actually thinking it was Raban.
Oh no. So when the Emperor goes, it's because the Beast of Raban has been unable to find him.
Okay, so they kept that the
Yeah.
same in the movie.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. It's just interesting calling him that. I, for some reason, was expecting to see Dave Bautista. So, anyway, the Beast of Raban dies off page in Herbert's novel during the Fremen attack against the Emperor and the Harkonnen forces. When Paul refuses to let Gurney fight Feyd-Rautha in his stead, which also it prevents the Atreides War Master from getting the revenge Paul promises him. In the book, that seems to be what it happens.
Okay.
But I like that because I picked that up too when we were watching the end fight scene from the clip you pulled up off of YouTube. When Gurney asks him, he's like, why does he take such risks? And it's the very clear separation that Paul is a Fremen who follows their philosophies that, no, you have to do battle. If you don't do battle, you're not the leader.
Right.
And so, but Gurney doesn't see that. He's like, why is he taking such a crazy risk? I'm here for that.
Right.
And so he's very much so, like classic, I don't know what you'd call it, classic royal guard.
Yeah.
And then you have Paul, who's now very much so clearly classic tribe. Like he became part of the desert.
It's very good. One thing I would have liked to see a little bit. Well, I mean, we kind of do. Never mind. I take that back. I was going to talk about seeing more of Paul surviving out in the desert when he has to cross that distance and come back. But we kind of do because Chani hangs out with him.
Yeah, I bet that's probably pretty similar in the book because it did not come up on this list.
Okay.
And I'm getting this list off of nerdist.com.
It is.
So I have to.
It has everything.
I have to assume it's fact.
It is law.
There is
Keep
this
going.
little
What's
side
next?
section here up here that's called Geek Sundry. I don't even know what Sundry is, but yeah, anyway. So, the last part of this is Chani's expanded role and ending.
Okay.
Just as in the book, Chani and Paul fall in love in Dune Part 2, where she's equally as protective of him as her novel counterpart. In Herbert's story, she fights on Paul's behalf without telling him when someone comes to challenge him. Okay, so apparently somebody
Gotcha.
in the tribe did that, but she just took it on. But the movie both greatly expands her role and changes it. She's a much more important character with more agency instead of primarily existing as an extension of Paul's story. Movie Chani is also the child of Dr. Kynes. That's apparently not in the book because he's a white dude in the book. Remember?
The graphic novel.
The graphic novel, yeah. Well, no. In the book, technically, because the graphic novel is based off the book.
Yeah, but in the book, I don't know if it ever says white male,
Well,
age
okay.
62.
Well, in here, it even just says that Chani is not the child of Dr. Kynes.
Okay.
So I have to assume, but we'll go into a little bit more research into that. We're gonna invest some into R&D. So Zendaya's Chani is also the only Fremen not to accept Paul as the Lisan al Gaib, and unlike in the novel where she tells the Kawats Haderach she will remain his concubine, even though he'll marry Princess.
What?
Yeah, even though he'll marry
Frank
Princess
Herbert, you
Irulan.
sly dog.
In Dune Part 2, Chani walks away from Paul. She stays on Arrakis while the Fremen board ships to launch a holy war in the Muad'Dib's name.
Muab? The
The Muad'Dib's. Because there's no... It's M-U-A-D.
Muad?
Muad'Dib's name.
Anyways, one
So,
thing
yeah,
I would have...
apparently, she's down to just whore out to him.
Wow. Zendaya. I'm surprised, especially with that tennis movie coming out.
Three-way Zende, dude.
One thing
She
would have
don't
been
care.
a little interesting to kind of go into more is so the Fremen are boarding ships to then go fight in some holy war. Where are they fighting? In the sky?
It appears that's what we saw there. And so that must be because everybody apparently culminates to Arrakis. So it
Or
doesn't
are
ever-
they going to a different part on the planet?
I have to assume if it didn't come up in here, that it's not that far of an inaccuracy. Because, I mean, nothing about the fight, nothing about the end of it, none of that. The only parts are just Chani and how she does her thing. So, yeah, I don't like. I don't know. I have to assume that they're fighting on the planet.
Okay.
Because again,
Because you took a bunch of sand people and just put them in the sky. I don't know. I don't think they're going to be as efficient of warriors up there.
well, even in part of the movie, Chani flies that helicopter, and she seems fine.
She does. I'm not saying that they wouldn't have ships. I just,
Well, I don't
I'm
know.
very
That's-
curious on
yeah.
where this battle is going to take place.
And dude, there's got to be it's not like we're the first people who have thought of this.
No.
There has to be a breakdown video that explains this.
And
I have to assume.
there's most likely the book that goes into it.
Most likely.
Yeah.
But
I just like to stay as in the dark as I can because I like to.
Well, this is about the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to go on the journey with that. If we're looking at the grand scheme of things and the grand scale of this massive story, it's a lot more like at a point in time this happened, rather than here's a main character, you're going with him on this journey. It's a lot more like a telling of a story. Mm-hmm. And where was I going with that?
I don't know, but I agree with what you're saying. Like it is a telling of a story, and I think
my point was that I enjoy not knowing how it all unfolds yet, because I don't want to just think back. Oh, this already happened so many years ago, so to speak. It's
I
set in
agree with
stone.
you on that. I agree with you on that. I like where we're at with it, and I like that I don't know much.
It feels like it's currently happening.
Yeah. And see, because it made that scene at the end where Thade Rafa ends up stabbing Paul, and then when Paul ends up stabbing him with the knife, You don't know, as somebody who did not know how that fight ended necessarily.
I was nervous.
I have to assume Paul lived. I think ultimately I always would have assumed that, but still, like, you have that moment where you're like, oh my god,
Yeah.
what happened? And so I don't know. Because again, you're also dealing with stuff where it kind of has some powers, so to speak, quote unquote. So you don't know how they're gonna do it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, what does he drink some life water and come back to life? Like, you know, you have no idea. You have no idea. So,
Yeah.
at least as somebody who's never gone through the books, I have no idea. So
'Cause-
seeing these things,
Because I also didn't really know that Paul was going to take this step towards a darker path.
well, I don't necessarily. At least how it seems to be prescribed in the book, or in the movie. He starts out wanting revenge for his dad, and ultimately, I think he always wants to have revenge for his dad. But at some point of time, his heart kind of gets intertwined. Like in the movie, they talk about him wanting to be the leader that the Fremen always needed, and all this stuff.
Yeah.
They're trying to.
That was before he drank the worm poison.
That was. And so, but he knew what was going to happen afterwards. He even gives that second. He's like, after I get there, I will do what must be done. And then the music changes all dramatically and dark. So when they're, I don't know. I personally feel like in the movie, they give him more of a lighthearted feel than necessarily just being this conniving guy, which understandable, because if you're trying to sell tickets to a movie, you want it to be something that like, oh, you want to be able to relate to this character. And I don't, at least that's how it seems. And again, I might be completely off. So, but at least this is my summation of the story from the movie.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty good.
I love the detail that went into the cinematography of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
The black and white planet is incredible.
Incredible.
I can't even fathom how they did that in like the filming editing. Like it's just
infrared.
Insane. Oh, that's right. They do the infrared. But even the scenes where they transition from them just walking down hallways where that sun is blocked.
Oh, dude.
The fireworks that blast off in the sky. Dude, it's so good.
What other differences are there?
We just did the whole list.
Oh, that wasn't that long.
No. And there might be other lists that are compiled and stuff, but I didn't pull them up.
Okay.
But for future, now I will.
That was fun.
Yeah, I like that. That actually might be a good segment to do, especially because not all sci-fi movies are based off books, but when they are, that should be something we do.
Oh yeah.
I think that's a good little thing. And then we just kind of talk about it
Throughout.
Yeah. And,
I like that.
You know, out of this movie,
Okay.
give me your top 2 favorite characters.
Ooh. Top 2 favorite characters would be Gurney and
Top 3. Give me top 3. So it might be easier.
okay, Gurney, Fade Rafa, and I mean, only because these movies are framed around Paul is he just one of the best characters to watch. But I don't want him to be on my favorite list because that's too.
And I am speaking strictly the character also has to do like one of mine is Thade Rafa because he Austin Butler
was phenomenal.
I mean, he did such a incredible next level job.
Yeah. This movie is going to sweep the Oscars next year, so to speak.
I believe so. I really truly feel this totally changed my opinion of Austin Butler.
Oh yeah.
Like 100%. I am at a complete 360 of what I thought before.
You mean
He is
180? A 360 is just a full circle.
to turn around about hating him again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, his voice is stupid. Anyway, a complete 180 to liking him now because I realize how much that dude's a good actor.
Yeah.
The voice coaching, so that way he sounded like he's related to
The Baron.
the Baron.
Yeah.
Vladimir, which is an awesome name to name your supervillain.
Yeah.
And also but again, the voice, like he just did it so well And like you just know, I mean, that was
Oh my
terrible.
God.
That sounded like Batman. But the way Austin Butler does is incredible. So and again, like even like in interviews, the scene where he licks the knife, that's not in it. Like he did that. That was just a choice he made.
Oh my God.
And so like yeah, I have a totally newfound respect for him as an actor. I think that he really sold that character to me.
Yeah, it was really good.
And even Vladimir Baron, like the
Skarsgård guy.
yeah, the Skarsgård. He did an incredible job.
Incredible.
I love that moment where you see how much, because again, the idea of this is if you drop it down to primal meaning, you have the Harkonnens that are just solely driven off of just their lust for food,
Yeah.
for drink, for women, for power, for money. Everything is just about their desire. And then you have the self-control of the Atreides, and they don't really go into, at least in the movie, the characteristics of how all these other races go about.
I have no idea the other 7 houses.
Yeah, but for the most part, everybody just seems to be going for power.
Yeah.
That just always seems to be the thing. Everyone's just lusting for power in different capacities. But the Harkonnen are meant to be like the gross, like, yeah, you know, like they're just like, give me more. And
Yeah.
so,
Oh.
like, it's just such a good. I love that character, that species of that. Like that
Dude.
is. They did an incredible job.
Yeah, that when Fade Rafa is checking out his knives and then he cuts that girl's throat and then the other one's just shaking because she's terrified.
Well, even
like,
the guy who's presenting them,
Yeah.
he's terrified because he has no
It's
idea.
so
You
good.
get like, oh, what's going to happen? And
it's
but
so good.
the part that I think is really, really good about that scene, and again, good, you know, as in the story. Obviously, nobody died, but the when he stabs the girl, he's just like, the tip of this blade, it should be sharper. And
Yeah, dude,
it's just
oh my
like just that twisted, and then he's got those gross, weird looking chicks on the
That are
side
about to eat this corpse.
Yeah, dude, it's so bizarre. It's so bizarre, but
love
it's
it.
so well done.
I
and
love
then,
it.
And then when the beast comes up and he makes him kiss his boot, and he just spin kicks him. Yeah, it's really good. Like this movie is incredible. I love the acting. I love the character portrayals. Josh Brolin's character,
Phenomenal.
When he finally gets to take down the Beast of Radom, it's Raban.
It is Raban.
It is the
Radon
Beast of
is from Elden Ring.
You're right. It is. You're right. It is. Yeah.
General
the Beast
Radon.
of the Beast of Raban. When Gurney gets to kill him, you just feel so good.
Yeah.
Like, man, that was satisfying.
So satisfying.
Look who's back from the dead, and he just does these weak whips, and then Josh Brolin's like, "Oh, dude, this is not even a challenge."
Christ
I don't know.
almighty.
He does it so quick. Yeah, so all of that was really good. Again, the cinematography is incredible. All the
Yeah.
scenes. It's still, it's still weird in some parts when they're talking to the fetus, and it's also weird when you see all the people on the worm who all riding it at the same time.
I was watching a clip of the one from the 80s. Who directed that one again?
David Lynch.
I was watching clips from the David Lynch one when they were summoning a sandworm.
This is what happens when you smoke and drink a little bit before you do a
What are you talking
pod.
about? What are you what are you talking about? Anyways,
One love. Go ahead. Continue.
so in that movie, I saw a clip where the sandworm was slowing down. So I don't think it's a thing. I don't think it's a shark that has to continuously
Just stops
move.
and dies.
Yeah, I think it's able to just stop and stand there for a little bit.
I believe so as well. And
Do they
so-
need to show that, Neil deGrasse Tyson? I don't know.
No.
Do you need it drawn
Shut
out in
up,
crayon?
Neil.
Do you have to have something to say about everything?
Nice sweater, Neil. Shout out Santa Claus. Anyway,
Dude, however, rewatching the Santa Claus 2, it's like those sweaters ain't bad.
I would buy a sweater like that now. When he says nice sweater, I was thinking to myself, nice sweater, Neil. I'm like, no, dude.
It's reversible?
Where did you get that,
Shit.
dude? Where'd you get that, dude? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know it was reversible. I like that.
Yeah. Again, I think that Count Fenring would have been awesome. Again,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
got Count in his name.
Yeah.
And here's the picture of the dude they have on the video.
Maybe. Oh, wow.
Who does that look like if you're really going to try to guess? Give a good character. I'm going to give you a hint of who I think he looks like. Star
I've seen
Wars.
him.
Star Wars.
Hold on. No, there's an actual actor in.
I'm not talking that. What character does he look like? Star Wars. Who is this, Aaron? Let me give you a hint. First off, it's impressive that I can make the cursor go around like this, and the thing is, and I'm pretty accurate. Kind of. Now I'm messing up. But
Are you saying that looks like Dooku?
no.
Palpatine?
No.
Who does that look like?
Well, now it doesn't look like any of them. So
What are you saying?
Nah, never mind.
What were you trying to say?
Yeah, never mind, dude. It doesn't matter.
No, what were you trying to
We're gonna
say?
move forward. So,
Who does that look like?
doesn't look like anybody, dude.
There
You're
is
right.
an actor that looks like that. And I'm not talking Tarkin.
I was talking Tarkin.
Interesting.
Dude, it looks like Tarkin. Okay.
Interesting.
If you close your eyes now, you think he looks like Tarkin.
It's the dude from Underworld.
Oh, the guy who also plays
Yeah.
Davy Jones and
Yes.
Fine.
Yes. Whoever that guy is. Kind of looks like
Part of the ship, part of the crew.
part of the ship, part of the crew.
First off, that Underworld series up until the last like two,
Were really
I
good.
actually very much so enjoy.
Really good.
Oh, this was one that I didn't actually go over. So just as in the book, this is about Alia communicates from the womb.
Okay.
Just as in the book, Jessica's transformation from drinking the water of life also changed her unborn daughter.
Oh no.
Yeah. The poison, which the Bene Gesserit,
Oh, I did love that scene when they were like, "What have we done?" She was pregnant.
she's with child. Well, I think it's because they understand that this is also, maybe they didn't know that she was going to be able to do that. I think their Reverend Mother would have known that, though. She was clearly Bene Gesserit because she had the voice. Drink. And she was able to control Jessica, which is huge. So,
Wait, what? Which part are you talking about?
when Lady Jessica's about to become the Reverend Mother, they're down there in the
Oh!
cave. And so she commands her with the voice. So she's clearly Bene Gesserit. And so, but the thing, so when she said, "What have we done?" She's with child. I think it's because they understood what that might potentially be doing, what kind of power that brings to. I mean, she's literally got from almost an entirety of her gestation, development, everything, the ability to see.
Yeah.
Paul's learning how to deal with it now. She's had it for her whole life at this point. So
That will be very interesting.
yeah, at least that's a factor that I'm thinking of it in. Hold on.
So does that mean that
Hold on. Let me get to the end of this. The poison, which the Bene Gesserit sisters alters within her body, made it so both mother and child gain the memories of all Reverend Mothers before them. In Herbert's novel, this leads Alia to be the strangest, smartest, most advanced toddler ever. The Fremen find her
That's funny.
very unsettling until until they learn exactly why the 2-year-old can speak with such wisdom. So you just like,
the fuck
like,
is that?
What did you just say? Yeah. Villanueva maintained this aspect by having Jessica converse with Alia's fetus. Paul also saw his sister, played by Anya Taylor-Joy. Oh, interesting. Typo.
What?
They have this as played by Anna Taylor-Joy.
Those bastards.
It's Anya. Throw some respect on her name. As an adult during his coma-like trance after drinking the water of life himself. So yeah, interesting. Okay, gotcha. So she's just this freak child.
Do you think that she is actually the Kwisatz Haderach?
I think she might be. But again, I don't know enough about the story about how it
Me neither.
develops. I thought it was supposed to be a man. However, I'm fine with it not being.
Dude, be more open and inclusive.
Like, I don't care. Like, it's just what the story said in the movie,
know.
dude. Okay? Doesn't matter that I don't think they should vote, but
It's supposed to be a man because so far it's supposed to be believed that doing these kind of journeys would kill any man.
yeah, and that was supposed to be the point. But I don't know. It'll be interesting seeing if she actually becomes that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love, again, I'm so into this story now. I want to watch more of the breakdown video to kind of get a little bit more into it. And then, yeah. What's the next sci-fi thing you think we're going to end up going through? Like novel-based sci-fi.
Novel-based
If we were really going to talk about doing like, if one of the aspects that we're doing of this is not just necessarily a movie review, but specifically sci-fi movie review. What's the next sci-fi novel movie review we're going to do? What would you be interested in doing? Star Wars immediately comes to mind for some reason.
Yeah,
but not like the Star Wars that we're all aware of.
Yeah.
I would almost
You
rather...
want to get into like the extended.
Yeah, but those aren't based off movies.
No.
So like we
So
wouldn't
what
be...
would you want to do?
I don't know. We'd have to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Probably Watchmen next.
was
dude.
thinking Watchmen first because
Watchmen.
I own the ultimate cut, which
perfect.
has the graphic novel slit into parts of the movie.
Perfect.
Yeah. So that's got the longest official version that we have.
I'm in.
That's the Snyder cut.
Dude, we're doing the Watchmen.
All right.
That'll be so much fun to edit. There's an incredible amount of clips that
Yeah.
are potentially only 10 seconds long to begin with.
Dude.
So, yeah.
Some
Oh my
good
God.
slow-mo clips.
Some really good slow-mo clips.
And
oh, dude.
and because you're going to be editing now, all the clips that aren't slow-mo, you can make them slow-mo.
I don't want to do that. But
You can be Zack Snyder's
I don't need to be-
protege.
I don't need to be Zack Snyder. Oh, I need to watch that JRE with Zack Snyder.
Yeah, you got to let me know about it.
I need to know what he's saying about the WB.
Dude.
They want Batman to kill, dude. I don't know if I agree with that. Oh, what's with the
Well, obviously
Batman?
not.
What's with the Batman 2?
The Batman Part 2
Mm-hmm.
got delayed one whole year.
This was what you wanted to talk to me about on the pod. You couldn't have told me that outside, dude. That sucks.
I wanted raw reaction.
Dude, that bums me out so much. I love
one
that
whole
movie.
year.
Oh
One
my
whole year.
God, we're gonna probably have to also do the Batman, dude.
What source material is that based off of?
The greatest character ever written. The
All right,
greatest
dude.
psychopath ever written.
What
do you
minute
think?
are we at?
Yeah, we're at 46.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
All right,
We should
son.
probably cut it. This is a long thing to edit.
Yeah.
And
Let's crush it.
all right, dude. Well, this was an episode of the S Bros podcast where you listen to the S Bros talk about Dune
Part 2. The greatest sci-fi movie this half century?
Yeah.
Half century? Or
Yeah,
would
yeah,
you
yeah.
say decade?
Definitely
Definitely decade.
decade. Within the last 10 years, for sure.
So what's better, Dune Part 2 or Star Wars Episode 3?
Dune Part 2.
Okay.
That's
a bummer.
question,
That's
dude.
a difficult
Here's-
a difficult thing to just toss in there at the very end when we're supposed to be saying goodbye.
Here's the thing.
I have to sit on that now?
You do. Here's the reason why.
No, I don't want to hear your whack ass reason why. Let's
We'll
cut
save
it.
it. We'll save it for the next
Let's
pod.
cut it. No, will we ever go back to it?
Yes, we
you
will.
let us know.
Bye.
I'm gonna go kick his ass.
Bye.